Good afternoon. So I've got your test review, Chapter 7, I believe, and I want to go over the answers with you. I'm going to try to pre-fill this in and try not to waste too much time. You may have to stop the video and write down anything you need. So I'm trying to save as much time as possible. So I've pre-filled in some of the answers. I'm going to go over them with you though. Congruent means equal. It means the same thing. It's the same everything. Same picture, same angle, same everything. Copy paste. Corresponding is going to be the same angle pretty much, because if you look at angle 1 and angle 5, they're both on top, they're both on the left. They're the same spot. Corresponding. They're best friends forever. They're copy paste. Alternating, would that be opposite? Because if you look, 1 and 8 are opposite. By the way, so is 2 and 7. Those are alternating exterior. You could even do alternating interior. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of those. So alternating would be opposites. One's on top, one's on bottom. And I'm going to scoot over so you can see all that. And then translation. How about slide? How about add and subtract? Sure, because there's a big plus sign there. Rotation. How about flip, don't flip? 1, 2, 1. Flip means flip the letters over. Don't means don't flip the letters over. Flip means flip the letters over. True. 1 negative. The first one. First one is negative. 2 negatives. And this is the last one. And it's 90, 180, 270, 90, 180, 270. It goes backwards. That one's counterclock and that one's clock. Next, reflection. We circled the FL for don't flip. Why? Don't flip them. You have XY, then you have XY. Now and there's two of them, over the X and over the Y. Which one is this one? This one's over the Y-axis because the X is busy. It's got a negative. And this one's going to be negative Y, so it has to be the X-axis because the Y is busy, the X isn't. So this is over the X-axis. This one's over the Y-axis. It's the other one. Dilation, we said multiply and divide. That's a diet. So think about going on a diet. You either gain weight or lose weight. And make bigger, make smaller. Again, tied to the diet. Transformation, that's the four words. That's the dilation, reflection, rotation, translation. I wouldn't count that as an important word. It's really not. It just means those 4 words. I wouldn't mark that as important. Question 2, who preserves congruency? Circle them. And so who does, or even better, which one doesn't? So I can tell you one of them doesn't. I can also tell you 3 of them do. So I'm going to work on the one that doesn't. And preserve means keep, and that means equal. So which one of those doesn't keep you equal? And the correct answer is dilation. If you go on a diet, you don't stay equal. You either get bigger or smaller. So dilation does not keep congruency. And by the way, what about this word? That was bogus. Throw that out. So which ones do? Rotation, reflection, translation. Dilation doesn't, and transformation was one of those never picked those kind of answers. Next one. We talked about this in class, and I read this to you, and I'm going to read it to you again. Orientation means the way a shape is viewed from looking from the top down. And I'm looking top down as in clockwise, as in I read the clock. So if this is my original, and if you had to pick one letter, which one would you pick? Sure, A. And if you go with the clock, you see ABC. Same here. I rotated it. Find A and play the clock. That's ABC. This one's dilated. Find A and play the clock. That's ABC. All of these orientations are fine. Question 4. If you reflect it, let me scoot down for you. If you reflect it, it doesn't stay the same. Because look, here's A. That's ABC. Now find A and play the clock. ACB. So orientation fails on reflection. So tips on to remember. Right there. See that O? Only RE. What's a word that starts with RE? Reflection. Only reflection doesn't work. So which one fails on orientation? Reflection fails. Which one fails on congruency? Well, which one's not equal? A diet is definitely not equal. So orientation, reflection will fail, and then congruent, dilation will fail. And probably the simplest, learn the ones that don't work. So reflection fails on orientation. It's right there, RE. Reflection will fail. So which one doesn't preserve orientation? Well, which one failed? Right there. RE fails. So which one has RE? This one. This one will fail. So by the way, that means this one passed, this one passed, this one passed. That's easier to think about. Next, how would you write these things algebraically with the equation? So stop the video and then write down your answers. I'm going to just show you the answers. All right, so I have my answers here for you. So if you go 3 down, wouldn't that be minus 3? And 2 to the left, wouldn't that be minus 2? And for me, you should know that's the y-axis, and you should know that's the x-axis. So don't get confused. Label. It always helps me. Reflect over the x-axis. What does FL mean? It means they don't flip. Means the answer better be x, y. And if that says x, pick the other one, negative y. And reflect, don't flip, so you got x, y. And there's the y, so the x is negative. It's the opposite. It's the other one. Dilation of 2/3. How about x, y yields 2/3 x, 2/3 y? What about dilation of 5? And what does 5 mean? $5. Yeah. 5x, 5y. What about 4/3? 4/3 x, 4/3 y. Which one of these will make it bigger or smaller? If you multiply by 2/3, you get smaller. If you multiply by 5, you get bigger. If you multiply by 4/3, trick question, you actually still get bigger. Isn't 4/3 more than $1? Yeah, $1.33. Repeat. So this is bigger than $1, so it gets bigger. 5 is bigger than $1, it gets bigger. 2/3 is less than $1, so it gets smaller. Don't be confused with the fractions. Fractions don't always make it smaller. Less than 1 makes it smaller. And then what about rotation? So I did the flip, don't flip in my mind. Actually, you should write it out. In 180 degrees in the middle, isn't that the don't flip? So there's the don't, and they had 2 negatives. And then the 90 degrees clockwise, that was on the bottom right hand side, I believe. And so that's going to be flip, and then the last one is negative. Alrighty, moving on. On question 7, I want you to kind of mark off the algebra piece to it. I just really want to talk about the question. I want to know how many rotations would make one reflection. So how many times would you have to turn your item? So I have a hippopotamus. How many times would I have to turn that for that to be a reflection? If I turn it once, have I reflected it? If I turn it again, would that be a reflection? There's the 3rd time, and then there's back to the 4th. How many times do you think I need to turn that to get a reflection? And is a reflection over a line? Yes, like the x or y axis. What's a line worth? Hey, 180. When I turn this, is that 90 degrees each time? Because that's 90, then 180, then 270. So how many 90s makes 180? 2. Good point. So I'm going to take that knowledge and answer this question without all this gibberish. So I've wrote you an algebra question up there. So you've got clock, counterclock, 180 degrees rotation equals reflection. How many of these would equal these? So I left the numbers blank, so you can put numbers here. How many 180s do you need for one reflection? And how would you get 180 rotation? Great question. Is a rotation done by increments of 90? So wouldn't this be 2 rotations equals 1 reflection? True, because this is over a line. So when I want one of these to one of these, it's actually 2 rotations, because how many do I need to turn to get 180? 2. So it's really 2 rotations equals 1 reflection. So that's going to be on your test. Again, what's the short version? 2 rotations, 90 plus 90 equal 1 reflection, 1 line. And ignore all that. Let's go. Question 8. So you should have read that. Oh, and by the way, is 2 rotations 1 reflection? The answer is yes, because 2 90s equals 180. Now, question 8. It says you have a rectangle, ABC, rectangle, A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, and you're making whatever. Did this shape get bigger or smaller? So, first question is, who's the old picture? Where's the old? Where's the new? I'm going to say A. I'm going to look at A because I like A. Which one's old? Probably A. So I'm going to write old. And by the way, if that one's old, guess what? This one's new. Pretty much. And that makes B old, B prime is new. And that makes C old, and C prime is new. And yeah, D is old, and D prime is new. So my question to you is this. Did it get bigger or smaller? So stand here, and then this shape happened. It got smaller. How did you find the scale factor? Now here's the formula, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. And it says, use this formula to find your missing number. Pick any side and find its best friend. So, what does best friend mean? Who's 10's best friend? 5. Who's 7's best friend? 3.5. Who's this? 10. And who is that? 5. And that makes 5 and 10 best friends still. So, don't forget, best friends are existing. So, I'm going to use this lovely little space here. I want new over old. And by the way, you want the short version of that? No, is your formula. So give me the new number, give me an old number, and no, you're not going to get this wrong. So give me a new number, and pick nice. You got 2. I like 5. Give me an old number. Has to be best friends. 10. What's 5/10 reduced to? Half. And by the way, I'm done. The scale factor is half. The dilation is half. Yep, there you go. All your words. Let's do question 9. What was the formula? I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know. What's N stand for? New. Old. Which one is, find A. Here's A and here's A prime. Who is old? Well, that one's old. So that one's new. I need a new number. So you can pick 4 or you can pick 5/3. Surely you pick 4. Good job. Who is 4's best friend? 12. What's 4/12? Wouldn't that be 4 times 1 is 4 and 4 times 3 is 12? And 4 divided by 4 is 1. Isn't the answer 1/3? It is 1/3. Let's look at question 9.5. I know I can't count, right? What's the formula? You don't know, huh? New over old. Here's A. Here's A prime. I need a new number. Sure, 50. Who is 50's best friend? It's right here. Who is that number? I think that's 10. What's 50 divided by 10? Wouldn't you divide by 10 and get 5 over 1, which is 5? 5 is the scale factor. 5 is this SCL on your calculator, and it's also the dilation number. Why? Because that's my diet number. If you're this tall times 5, you're going to be this tall. Or if you weigh this much times 5, you're going to weigh this much. I think that's a diet. I think you're getting bigger. Next page. Alrighty, question 10. What makes the shape bigger? Probably multiplying by bigger than 1. Question 11. So I'm going to answer these questions. What happens when you do rotation? Does it get bigger? No. Does it get smaller? No. Does the area increase? No. Does the area decrease? No. Does it stay the same? Yes. It's not congruent. That's false. It is congruent. Does the angle measure stay the same? Yeah, the right angle is still the right angle. Do you think the sum of the angles would increase by 180 because you rotated it 180? So I'm going to gain 180 pounds because I turned a half of a circle. I hope not. No. Question 12. So here's the answers to question 12. It says if you have a scale factor of 5/7, it wouldn't 5/7 make it smaller? So ABC is smaller than A prime, B prime, C prime. If you multiply by 5/7, you're getting smaller. So that makes the original bigger. So this is no. One of these is correct. And I said no, yes, no. I say this one's no because that's 7/5 and it's supposed to be 5/7. Careful. That one's a good one. That one's wrong because the X and the Y changed. There's no flip here. Tricky. ABC is larger. That's true. They are equal. They're not equal. Does scale factor preserve congruency? The answer is no. Scale factor means dilation because think about getting on a scale. Isn't that a diet? Dilation. You need a scale to test the diet theory. That does not preserve congruency because congruency means equal, and you're not equal if you're on a diet. And then does scale factor preserve orientation? Yes, it does because reflection is the one that fails. And is that more than 1? No. Alrighty, question 13. Here's all the answers to the angles, and I'm not going to go over them. You have to read them yourself. I'm short on time here. I want to go over these. So I labeled them. That's the big base, little diagonal, big diagonal. Do those match? Big base, little diagonal. Shouldn't that be big? Big, little, wrong. I did little height, little diagonal, big diagonal, little height, little diagonal, big height, big diagonal. Or I can do it this way. Both are height, both are diagonal. Those are little, those are big. Those work. Big base, big diagonal. So that has to be little base, and that has to be little diagonal. But if you notice, they're backwards. if you look over here. And then this one here, little height, big base. It should be little here, not big. So they're mixed up.